Joining me now is our military analyst, Professor Michael Clarke, and this was close to, rather than in, UK airspace.
Yes, I mean, they never come into British airspace as such, I mean, legal airspace, but they move into NATO's area and they certainly get close. The idea is they tend to come towards airspace, and when they're intercepted, then they turn away. And these are, this is a Bear bomber, it's a Tupolev 142, it's the maritime version of the old Tupolev 95. It's the loudest bomber in the world, it's extremely noisy, it goes back to the 1960s, but it can surveil, it carries missiles. It's a platform, it's a very old platform, but it works. And the Typhoons from Lossiemouth, there's 3 squadrons there on the quick reaction alert, as they're called, and a couple of Typhoons from Lossiemouth. This photograph almost certainly was taken from the other Typhoon. So 2 Typhoons, and there were 2 Bear bombers, and they perform this choreograph in the sky. They get close enough to take photographs of each other, and that proves the fact that we're onto them, and if this was a war, you'd have been dead 20 minutes ago.
And why do the Russians do it? I mean, well, because they can, I guess. And what are they trying to achieve?
Yeah, I mean, it happens, generally speaking, there's 1 or 2 of these a week somewhere in the NATO area. And they occur, in our case, I mean, probably once every 2 weeks or so, sometimes 3 in a week. And those pictures have been released by the Russian Ministry of Defence. That's a Bear. That's a 142. I mean, today, whether that's today's bomber or not, but they've released them today to show us. And they presumably want to create this sense of crisis. Part of the Russian strategy is to convince the Europeans that the Ukraine war is dangerous, is getting more dangerous, and this sort of thing just, ups the tension a little bit. So they're probably quite glad that we're reporting it, or the MOD chooses to report it. It's a sort of game. It's not terribly important, but one of these days it might turn out to be important. And it's always dangerous. I mean, these things fly with their transponders turned off, no flight plan, there are civilian aircraft in the area, so somebody needs to shepherd them to make sure they don't cause a crisis.
OK, Michael, thanks very much.